ABC Chat here. So this is my second video this week. I haven't done a vinyl finds since the beginning of August, so here we are in September, and have a few boxes. So I basically pulled out some stuff that I got over the last few weeks, and actually over the summer, some things I didn't even show before, and so I can start anew and have some new things that I got mail order and in the shops, and then mostly just binge shopping over the last weekend and a couple of weekends ago. So first I have a few new releases here. First one was a reissue from Southern Lord Records. It's the double LP from Dave Grohl's Probot. If you're not familiar, Probot is Dave Grohl with some of his favorite musicians, different singers. Obviously Lemmy, King Diamond. There's a secret track from Jack Black. I'm blanking on some of the other people right now, but it's mostly all rock and roll, heavy metal type tracks. Really nice gray vinyl reissue, or silver vinyl actually. Really nice matte varnish on the gatefold jacket. Definitely worth the price if you didn't have the originals. They're pretty pricey, so pick this up. Really enjoyable Probot. So the next thing I got here is the recent single on Third Man Records from the band Sleep. It's pretty boring. It's the black vinyl, and this release was kind of they made a special like blue burst mixed color one, and it was only available to the stores. You had to buy, for every 10 black copies you bought, you got to get one color version. So pretty much, I talked to my local store, and they were probably going to buy 10 or 20 if that. So they had already got rid of the color version. So I just ended up going with the black copy. It cost me $9 for a single-sided LP. There's an etching on the back. Pretty great song, so definitely pick it up if you see it around. Sleep, Leagues Beneath. This one I picked up at Half Price Books last weekend. There was a 20% off sale. It's the Lost album from John Coltrane. And I was a bit confused about this release. On Amazon there was a 2 LP set, and this one is actually a single LP, so I'm not sure exactly what the difference is. Obviously there's more music on the 2 LP, but I'm pretty happy with this. It's on Impulse. Sounds really great. Here is another new record from the band Nothing out of Philadelphia. They are a loud shoegaze type band. Very loud distortion and ethereal vocals, that kind of stuff. And it's kind of dreamy, but kind of just loud. So this has a really bizarre cover. It's called Dance on the Blacktop, I think. Yeah, Dance on the Blacktop from Nothing. This is on Relapse Records, and this is the Flesh vinyl version that was exclusive to retail, like indie stores, out of 500. Really great record, probably one of my favorites of the year so far, of new stuff at least. Alright, so before I get into my used vinyl finds. I went to a store or a sale that I saw on Craigslist, and the first thing I saw on the table, I got super excited. I don't know what I was thinking it was, but it turned out to be a CD box set. But ended up buying it anyways because it was only a few bucks. So it was this Funkadelic box set of the first 4 records on CD. I have these on some of these on reissues. Obviously, I've shown Maggot Brain a few times. They're just like picture disc on the CDs. Obviously, not Combat Shock. One of them's in my car, and really kind of bare bones. There's no booklets or anything like that. Just a basic CD box set of the 4. This goes for a good bit online, but I only paid a few bucks for it. Alright, so some of my used finds here. We have lots of different genres. This one I picked up last weekend at a thrift store, not thrift store, but a antique store that sells records. It is the first record from UFO, called UFO 1, and it's on the Rare Earth label, which has a cool label. This is the US pressing, and kind of space rock. Obviously UFO went on to do more hard rock, heavy metal type records, but their first 2 were very spacey. Phil Moog on vocals. Yeah, it's pretty cool if you're into like Hawkwind and that kind of stuff. I really like the logo and the silver print. This is a single from the band Opal, and this is on a Northern Line Records or something. No, that's the name of the single. One Big Guitar is the name of the label. Out of the UK, this was an early single. So Opal was a band that actually went on to become Mazzy Star, with the addition of Hope Sandoval, and the original singer for Opal had left, Kendra Smith, and really great. You know, it's very similar, kind of psyche, folky, indie stuff as Mazzy Star, but this was formed in, this was around 1985 or so. Their full-length LP, the only one they did, Happy Nightmare Baby, was released on SST Records. So Opal. These are 2 jazz records I actually picked up today. In fact, I went to get some food and stopped by a record store and saw these 2 originals here. And the first one is The Sidewinder by Lee Morgan, and this is actually a first pressing on Blue Note, the first stereo pressing. The jacket's kind of nice. There's one little, looks like it's crinkled or something. Plays, you know, VG plus or so. So it's a good copy. I didn't pay that much for it, so that was a cool pickup. And this one I was kind of bummed. It's kind of noisy, but it's Coltrane Plays the Blues, and this is an original mono copy on Atlantic. It's probably like a plays VG or so. The jacket's pretty nice though. Both John Coltrane. So here is a record. I showed one of these before, the first record, and then everybody was like, oh, you should pick up the second one. They had it, and when I went back to get it, somebody had bought it. So I actually saw this in my local store and I picked it up. It's the H.P. Lovecraft, the second H.P. Lovecraft record. and this is on an original on Philips. So cool, psych. This was a really cool find. My local shop, well, one of them, one I don't see around. I paid up for it, but it's in really nice shape, so didn't have a problem with it. It's Desert Shore, and this is, I think, the third album from Nico. This is was released on Reprise Records. It's got a weird textured cover, so I was happy to pick that up. It's got it was actually, it says arranged by John Cale, so he collaborated a lot with Nico after the first Velvet Underground. I picked up a copy of Debut by Bjork, which I didn't have. This one is on like a beige vinyl. It was a repress from 2 years ago, I think it said, but wasn't too expensive. So it's real super paper thin vinyl, but plays pretty good. So obviously, you know, Bjork, but Human Behavior was a single off of this one. Here is a record that I don't know if I ever seen anyone talk about it, but I don't know why that I did not have a copy of this, because it is a really great record. It's McDonald and Giles, and it's an original on Cotillion. Really cool psych rock, like psyche prog kind of stuff. Yeah, Donald and Giles. And I guess I didn't mention that they're actually members of King Crimson. They were original members. That was kind of their side project. Found this one over the weekend. It's a DJ copy, a soundtrack for the movie Outlaw Riders, which I've never seen, but I do collect like biker exploitation movies, and this one is like acid and acid rock, and there are some really great tracks on here. I only got to listen to it one time since I actually just picked this up on Saturday, but this was released on MGM in 1971, and this is a DJ copy, really nice copy. So if you ever see this, do pick it up. Especially it has cool artwork on the front. It's like, looks like a western, spaghetti western meets motorcycle outlaws. Here's one I found pretty cheap. It's a cutout, but the vinyl's really nice. It's the debut record from Eddie and the Hot Rods, and this is a Black Island label. Really like their track Teenage Depression. That's actually the name of the record. They do a few covers on here of The Who's, The Kids Are Alright. What else? And a cover of 96 Tears as well. Here's another soundtrack I found, and this is an original copy. It's got the fold-out gatefold on Polydor, and it's Black Caesar by James Brown. It's got the cool Polydor James Brown labels, and it has the one of his famous tracks on here, The Boss. So Here's a record I got, I don't know, sometime in July or maybe June even. It is a soundtrack for like French pornography. It's I showed one of these I think in Linda Lake's hot video or something. It's Alain Gourget, and it's Musique Classique X, and it's super funky jazz. Just, I mean, really amazing stuff. It's a bit X-rated, so I'll just flash it on here. There's comes with a cool booklet. It's all in French, so but there's pictures like cartoons and fill in the blanks and like an activity book. But this was a Kickstarter, not a Kickstarter. There's like a pledge site in France that the first one they showed, the Bridget Leahy, was so successful that they had more music to release. So I pledged and was able to get that. Unfortunately, my copy has a huge seam split in the top, so I never wrote them to see if they would send me a replacement because it was kind of expensive. But it's on black vinyl. It's playing in the background. Here is another soundtrack. Actually, I saw Beth at B-Side Records posted this a few months ago, and I had noted that I didn't have it, so I saw this for pretty cheap, and it's kind of a rare, not rare, but I don't see it around very much. It's the Last American Virgin, and it's a compilation that features Devo, Oingo Boingo, The Police, The Cars, The Waitresses, and U2. So pretty eclectic selection here from the early 80s, 1980 actually. Flip my turntable. So yeah, that happened last month. I bought a new turntable. My previous one was a automatic, and I bought a manual turntable. It is a Funkadelic studio deck, so really enjoying that. I'm getting a different listening experience, so I'm starting to upgrade some of my equipment and whatnot, and maybe I'll do a video kind of just showing that one, but really enjoying it. Had it for a few weeks so far. Here is another record. It's never know how to pronounce this band's name, but I'll just say Simonde. And this is their second record, second time around. This is cool, like funky jazz kind of world music type stuff. I forget what the name actually means, something about doves or something. But this is an original on Janus Records. Pretty cool stuff. That one, this one I showed on the Facebook group. I picked this up on Saturday. It's an original copy of Let It Come Down from Spiritualized. If you're familiar with Spaceman 3, Jason Spaceman left and started Spiritualized. This was kind of an epic record for them. It was basically the first to use, it's uses like a full orchestra, and the songs are really epic, really great. This is probably my favorite Spiritualized record. So I was happy to pick up a original UK copy. So here's some a few heavy hitters I got in last month or just over the summer. I don't exactly know, but the first one here, I always loved this cover, and I was super stoked to pick this up. It's an original copy of Metal Magic from Pantera. And if you're not familiar, obviously this is their first record before Phil Anselmo joined, and they were I wouldn't say, people say glam, I guess it's glam, they wore spandex and whatnot, but this is very traditional heavy metal. And Dimebag Darrell and his brother, who recently passed away, were also in the band. He played drums, Vince Abbott and Darrell Abbott. But this is a really hard to find release, super expensive. This copy is really nice, has the original insert to order merchandise and whatnot. And this was on their own Metal Magic Records. It was the original label. So Metal Magic, enjoy the panther or whatever on the front. So here was one that I didn't know I needed, but I needed it when I saw it, and I got it at Half Price Books. They had a sale, and picked this up off the wall. It's an original copy on Epic of Rage Against the Machine's debut record. So I have a later repress that sounds pretty good. This record blows that one away. This copy is super clean, so on my new turntable it sounds really good as well. So came with a nice inner sleeve with the lyrics and whatnot. Rage Against the Machine, some 90s classic. And here's one that maybe not a lot of people know. I actually know about this record from Danny over at Not Enough Records, and maybe Andrew at Tales from the Crate had talked about her before. It is the debut record from Karen Dalton. It's so hard to tell who's going to love you the best. So obviously there's a hole punch in this, but this record is uber expensive, and I found it in a local like Half Price Books, and I was surprised. It had Rare written on it, but it was really, really cheap, and I got a discount on it as well. So the jacket is pretty nice besides the hole, and I had some vinyl eyes. It looked super clean in the store, but when I brought it home, it's got some scuffing and stuff on it. It plays pretty well, and you know, I'd say it's probably VG, so whatever for what I paid for it. And I was surprised how actually really, you know, obviously Danny and Andrew have good taste, but this is a really good, like, folky blues record. And she plays these weird, you know, bass and guitar instruments and stuff. So, but it's Karen Dalton. So that would be everything that I pulled out to show, and I think I'll end it there. And I'll have a new video coming up for Andrew's contest at some point, maybe next week, and try to pull some more stuff to do a vinyl finds. So thanks for watching.